I made my way down from Wisconsin to Victoria, Texas because I wanted to be a part of UHV, especially the publishing program. It's a master's in science. Most people who work in the publishing program get a master's in arts and usually in English. And so it's a big deal to have not only a publishing degree but a master's in science, because then you get the more business side of the publishing world. I love the reading series. It's a great part of American Book Review, and I like that American Book Review hosts it. I just think it's a really amazing experience for UHV and for the community in Victoria.
When I came to UHV, I brought with me pretty much all the work I do, a major part of which is literary publisher Chax Press.
Starting the art program here has gone surprisingly well. You know, it's not something I expected to do at this ripe age, but at the same time, the idea of starting an art department just seemed like too good an opportunity to pass up.
The Downtown Arts Series we began in September of 2014. That is, invite writers, invite visual artists, maybe invite musicians, other artists to come and present to the local community. I hope we get people to think about the arts here, not just as entertainment, but as a living, seeking activity where people are trying to find and bring meanings to their lives and to their cultures.
It's been a great year for arts and sciences, and we're truly fortunate to have this faculty, the quality of students here, and to enjoy this kind of growth and the success we've had. Lauren, where are you? She does amazing work for the Book Review, moved here from Wisconsin, and is a good example of our staff, the dedication they have to making these many things we do in the community for the students and for you all. Very successful. And the reading series had a leg that grew on it this past year that we're very proud of. As you know, the St. Joe kids have been coming out for years to the reading series, attending the readings, and also for the students at UHV and St. Joe, we put on a little extra show after it. They can spend about an hour with the author and ask them questions. We do it up in our publishing center. And the idea came from Ember Dueling that perhaps we ought to organize a course around this activity. And so Ember from St. Joe's and Bill McCardle put together a dual credit class in creative writing, and it's been a huge success. We're in our second semester now. The students work with Diana Lopez and Saba Razvi, successful authors in themselves, and very proud of that accomplishment, sort of as an offspring of the reading series, which is now in its 10th year. And for those of you who don't know, we bring in 10 speakers a year, and we just brought in our 85th speaker this last week. The big program that we developed a few years ago that I told you about, the gaming and simulation program, has been doing remarkably well. We just opened our second simulation lab. As I said last year, it's a top 40 program in the country, undergraduate and graduate. And we had the good fortune of asking the federal government, the Department of Defense, to help us with this program. And we're awarded with over $600,000 in grants this past year for robotics and related programs. And I think it's just the beginning of many grants to come. And one of the things that the students will do in this program is they'll use the latest state-of-the-art visualization robotics technology to gain skills that will put them into the workforce with a competitive advantage. And the DoD actually gave us two grants. One was $200,000, one was $400,000. So we're very proud of that. The School of Arts and Sciences does not have a long history of six-figure grants with the federal government. In fact, we had no history before this. And so we're very proud. Dr. Tavakoli led that effort, and he's one of our amazing new faculty members. Also runs the Computer Awareness and Robotics program that we have partnered for many years with VC and share with our students. The third aspect that I wanted to bring to your attention was the Center for the Arts downtown. We're in our second year now, this beautiful facility. We took over the old Children's Museum and have completely reconfigured the space. It's measured at 5,500 square feet, but don't take a tape measure out there. You won't find that much square footage. I think it's like the city exaggerated a little bit on that. But there's an art studio in there. There's a beautiful gaming studio down there. There's letterpress printing. We have our graphic design program down there. Charles, Alexandra, and Cynthia Miller, we recruited from the University of Arizona, where they ran the arts, poetry, and book arts program for about, I think, 12 years there. And they decided they wanted to come out to Victoria and try this endeavor, and I think they've been very successful in that series. And so I'm quite proud of them and their achievements. The big event for the year, though, is sort of a fulfillment of a dream I've had probably since I was an undergraduate. I have been reading authors from this particular press since I was an undergraduate in graduate school. They were one of the presses that I really was attracted to. I did a lot of my dissertation work and research and wrote reviews on these guys. And just by happenstance, a few years ago, they saw the good things that were happening in the humanities here and started to inquire. It was about 5 years ago into UHV and possibly relocating here. And we talked about it. The time wasn't right. It came back about this past spring, the issue of relocating here, and Dr. Morgan, where are you? Dr. Morgan and Wayne Barron and Dr. Cass were introduced to the idea and were very encouraging about it and asked for some data and different things. And, you know, we've had this opportunity to bring Dalkey Archive Press here. You all don't know who Dalkey Archive Press is. It's just a name. It sounds like donkey, you know, and sounds pretty silly. Carol Mesa was our last speaker here, and she said to me, she's from Brown University on their faculty, she said, do the people in the community know what Dalkey Archive Press is? And I said, Carol, I can barely fathom what it is. It's the premier press for translations, innovative, avant-garde, challenging literature. And I think that nothing speaks to its credibility in the world than two recent events. One, its director, who's now our faculty member, John O'Brien, was knighted this summer by the French government in Ireland for his contributions to the arts. And it's an honor that you know, Bono and T.S. Eliot have and others. And it's the real deal. He's on our faculty. He's working with our students. It's his program. The second one is probably fulfillment of Dalkey's dream and perhaps every dream you could ever want as a humanities professor or someone who has humanities programs. One of their authors won the Nobel Prize. And the, you know, sharing it with folks in the community and colleagues had this just wonderful sense of solidarity and pride in what we're doing and a belief that we're on the right track. That if you're supporting presses and endeavors that are funded by the federal government, 6 figures for a small college like ours, Nobel Prizes, knighthoods, we're doing something right here. And I want to thank all of you for your support of the various initiatives in arts and sciences. I can go around the room and say most of you know me and you know Nina and what we've been doing. It's been a 10-year journey, and I really think that with the things that happened this year that we're ending our infancy and kind of going into middle age. And I'm very excited about the next period. I want to thank you all, thank the administration for all you've done. So, good year.